Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Monday morning, back to work. Before I go to work, I just want to touch up on a couple things and want to talk about a little bit about technology and just the basic fundamentals. And it's always pretty basic. The technology itself might be complicated, but the ideas are simple. But a lot of times, they try to confuse us with their mumbo jumbo technology speak or what have you. But first, I'm going to show you um, how and why I have these beliefs. And so, after multiple attempts, being contacted, which I believe are the doctors and my estranged family, specifically my estranged sister. I'm not sure if it's her or what, but I'm led to believe it is, as many people have come to me offering me money, claiming to be from San Diego, claiming to have money in the trunk, claiming to know where I sleep, in a threatening manner. And, like I've said before, every time I refuse this, something bad would happen to me, or they try to do something to me. And the last time, after they pretty much pointed out my sister's, my family's street name, they tried to kidnap me and all this other shit. Well, shortly after that, I moved to some hills in the middle of nowhere. I believe it was between San Jacinto and Romoville, up in Inland Empire in California, next to these big old satellites. And I started getting real sick there, throwing up, and I felt like I was like a cancer patient or something. I was just sick, and I would feel this fuzzy feeling on my body, like the hairs on my body would be standing up, sort of like when you pull something out the dryer, the static electricity. And as I mentioned before, we have natural power. So I'm gonna go around about and bring it back. So we have natural power. The sun gives us natural power. Back in the day, we used to get signals off of AM, FM, which is the sun's signals. Well, they took that from us, and they had you believe that they created a new signal, and they put all these towers up. But they skipped the part. Why didn't they just produce technology that was able to catch that signal better, instead of saying that they created a whole new system of signals? So it's pretty basic. We already have something there that's free, and they're saying they're taking it away from us to charge us for something else. But in reality, it's like this. We have cell phone towers around us. Those cell phone towers, say you have Verizon, you almost never lost a signal. Okay? Well, we have satellites in the sky, in space. These satellites can take a picture of you inside your house. So, what's not to say that they're not using those satellites for other things, and that the cell phone towers are on the ground to help align the power or the energy that they're using to focus it on certain areas. Now, as we have people that were called whistleblowers, saying how they some of this government was connected to other governments, connecting into their computer systems and to monitor them. Well, that may be true, but nobody thought about other usages of this kind of energy, or at least we haven't. We've been led to believe something else here in the States. And so, what if they're creating a grid, sort of like a laser on a surgery table, and the grid allowed the laser to focus in concentration. Now, as you well know, the sun rays are created with it's natural radiation, and there's natural radiation in the ground. So recently, they said they're putting up 4G networks, 5G networks, upping the system when, first of all, we never had to up the system and we never had to create a new system. As far as the grid and the signals, technology to reproduce a signal, it's different. But they said they created whole new signals. So now after starting to feel these, my hair standing up, a concentration in my stomach, my heat in my stomach, I believe that that's the doctors and my estranged family getting back at me for putting them out there and saying that they're doing trial tests on not only myself but on other inmates in that hospital, and they were trying to offer me money. They offered me houses, to buy me a house. They offered me a lot of things, and I've been saying no the whole time. And so my life has been put in danger. But it correlates. After this started happening, I started feeling sick, and now I'm thinking these signals could be focusing on say me specifically, but it could be anybody as a whole, and they could be with this signal, they could be reproducing the radiation in our bodies, which can cause me to get sick. And not only me, we have this COVID thing going on here, which I'm living in a bubble, so I don't know if it's true or not, but the point being is, someone like me that speaks up and is trying to put the truth out there, a lot of people know who I am and what I'm doing, even though nobody talks to me. It's only obvious that, I'm fucking, everywhere I go, everywhere I've ever been, everybody talks to me, and it's very open with me. And things have changed since around that time when the last time I refused the deal and was on the run. And so it's obvious that these guys are either connected with this government or connected with another government, or either way that you look at it. I believe that treason can be within a government, within a system. It doesn't necessarily mean that you go out to another country and you plot against this country. You could be plotting against your own people, and that can be considered treason. But if the people committing it have more power or more technology than the rest of us, then that leaves us without a voice to speak, and leaves everybody liable to get hurt, to get off money, and to suffer many consequences. Myself, I've already suffered, so many consequences that, I'm ready for whatever were to happen to me, death or whatever were happening. They were trying to kill me once. So the purpose of this is, that, usually things don't come out till somebody dies. Obviously, they have my file locked up somewhere. And so in the case that anything were to happen to me, this is all basic information that could be proven. And one of the most important points I want to make is that when you go and look for information and they say, oh, there's no information on that. Well, in this day and age, we collect information on every single thing, every minute of people's lives. And for them to tell you that there's no information, as what's happened to me when I try to get my FBI case and my DEA file, it's a blatant lie. Obviously, they're hiding something, or making me go through loops and circles to get this information. And like I said, may not be everybody that's in this loop of trying to hurt people, but there's a controlled group of people. We're gonna call them the elitists that are playing God with people's lives. My life for sure, but now that I'm seeing things, I believe that this grid and this system is more than just the eye in the sky watching us. It's more like deciding who's gonna live and die, a slow death. They could rack up money while killing you. They're getting rich while killing you at the same time, creating population control. And the funny thing about it is that in this country, we've been led to believe that every other country wants to do us wrong. Well, if you talk to a lot of men and women that served in the military and gone to a lot of these countries, they're gonna have another story. Although they have to fulfill their duties, most of them come back and they realize what's happened, and that's when they've been pushed aside by the government agencies, or we'll say society, but because they've realized what's going on. Although they can't speak it, they realize that, hey, this is not what we were taught, and they come here and they're forgotten. But the moral of that story is, what if there's people out there outside of us that know more than we're led to believe. And I'm not saying everybody is, but what if some of these groups that are called terrorists are actually trying to open our eyes to what's really going on. And I'm not saying by violence, or I'm not condoning any of that, but I'm saying information wise, and trying to open our minds up to what's really going on. And obviously all the countries, elites, have an interest in keeping us in the quiet. Keep those that have money and those that are in control and rich, and keep everybody else under them. But I mean, eventually, that's gonna crumble. That can't go on forever. It's not physically possible. It's not economically possible. And one day there will be change. It just takes, the regular Joe Schmo like me, the little Jose Smo like me, to help people realize that, a lot of the stuff they're saying and telling us is their lies. Electricity can be conducted, and we could have free electricity without the use of complicated solar panels, or I'm sure there's way better technology at a way cheaper cost that can help us all live easier lives, but it's being withheld from us. Come on, we got fucking satellites all in space circling around the world, but we haven't figured out how to use the sun's natural resource of energy, of UV light, of radiation. If you start thinking about, if you uncomplicate things, you start realizing that we've skipped steps, or technology has told you that they've skipped steps. The government has told you that they skipped steps. One, to control us and to keep us in debt to them. And it's food for thought, something to realize. And I do believe that people are, who cannot be touched, or they feel like it's a hot subject to touch them directly, to kidnap them, to murder them, they use other means to attacking them. And I do believe it's by using technology, as far as energy and radiation, and causing cancer, and manipulating our bodies, because our bodies are basically made out of energy, and without energy and electricity that runs through our bodies, we wouldn't be alive. So, and those are all facts. It's not complicated. It might get more complicated when you try to manipulate them, but it's basic facts that they want you to overlook, and they don't want you to realize, because then somebody like me is gonna start asking questions, and then it becomes 2 people and 4 people, and next thing you know, everybody realizes that we're getting played, and we've been getting played for decades, and probably even longer than they'll have you believe. But it's time to open your eyes, people, and if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, it will happen in the next generation. And that's all I can do: stand up and speak up and wait for my time. Our destiny is great, no matter the road we take, and the harder it is, the more likely I am to get to where I'm supposed to be. Blessings.